Hello! You have joined the Script Mistress for Scene 7, The Power of the Short Script. I am your host, Amber Bosworth, and I am so excited to bring you episode 7. If you know of my website, you know what I do. The short script is kind of a big deal, and I talk about it a lot in my challenges, my monthly challenges on my website. I'll get more into that later. Now, if you want to stay up to date on podcasts, events, and challenges, get on my mailing list at www.thescriptmistress.com. I also have this whole episode on video on thescriptmistress.com/scene 7. So you'll be watching this on video. Hopefully have the YouTube channel up pretty soon as well. I'll be putting all of these videos there as well. I also have a free download that I'll discuss at the end of the episode to really help you along with your writing. Just as a reminder, I do read a lot of blogs, articles, books, and I collect it all for you here. This podcast goes over the power of the short script and how you shouldn't dismiss it out of hand. Now, I've provided links to the resources in the show notes and on the webpage as well, and have a lot of my own advice in there as well, as I've recently, well, not recently, but for a while now, have been judging my challenge, which is a short screenplay challenge where people get to write a screenplay with just 5 pages. And I've been running that for several years, so I can attest to the power of a short script. And I just want to say, you probably guessed already, or probably know, this is not edited. I just get on here and spill the weekly topic. Collecting this from the plethora of information gives me great motivation to write. Helping you really helps me too, really helps my writing adapt as well. So, really, helping you, helping me, we all win, right? It's about what works for you as a writer to keep the keys clacking or the pen scratching. Now, we are now into November, and I'm very happy to say that the next Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge is now open for registration. All the fun begins on November 16th. That's the Wednesday through Sunday, the week before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. So, are you feeling creative? Come and join us. Now, have you ever considered writing a short film as a way into Hollywood, into into the career? As a screenwriter, you might think that your only ticket to a career is by writing a low to mid-budget spec or a studio blockbuster. But in reality, an immediate and practical way to kickstart your screenwriting career is a much smaller move. In fact, it's short. There's a reason that the Academy dedicates 3 categories to short films every award season. You got animated, live action, and documentary. Filmmakers like James Wan and Damien Chazelle all got their start with short films. And by learning from them, you can start doing the same. Now, I'm going to go over 4 great tips for writing the short script, and it all starts by writing with gusto. Let this be your word of the week, gusto. The short script frees the writer from the feature's many complex demands, so take advantage of the short format to experiment with new characters, write fresh dialogue, imagine startling situations, charge into your short film with gusto, and to have fun. It's like the number one part of my challenges. I provide a prompt. You get 5 days to write 5 pages from beginning, middle to end, a complete script, and it's amazing. And you wouldn't believe some of the stories that I've read that have come out of these screenwriters' minds. You wouldn't believe what you could think of by giving a prompt and just letting your mind go and having fun. So, tip number 1: a short is not a miniature movie. Now, even though it does need a beginning, middle, and an end, a short is not a miniature feature. Don't think of your story as a trailer for a 2-hour movie with many incidents telescoped into a few minutes of viewing time. Now, if you do, then your idea is likely too complex to be contained in a short form. Better to find a simpler story with one main idea that can unfold naturally during the course of the viewing time you've allotted. A short film story about a bank robbery doesn't have time to detail the entire heist from beginning to end. Focus on a key scene where the story elements are most intense and revealing of the characters. Perhaps a major bungle thwarts the robber's goals, an argumentative tailor who won't hand over her money, or the one bank employee who, with the needed combination, has gone to lunch, and the robbers have to hold together the tense situation while they wait. Whether you want the conflict to be played out as a comedy or a drama, make the central situation be your major scene and use only a couple of pages, minutes to set the story up. Now, tip number 2, compress information. Try and find overlapping ways to reveal character and story elements that reinforce one another to give the audience necessary information quickly. This is particularly important when you are establishing a main character. Now, for example, if your character is down on his luck, think of a single moment when this can be expressed without using up page space, showing him in a variety of hard luck situations, such as standing in an unemployment line and sleeping on a park bench. Now, here's one way to set this up. Gotta love it. Had a little bit of a visitor. Okay, so here's one way to set this up. Jake, 20s, wearing clothes as mussed as his hair, enters a Starbucks sprinkled with morning drinkers. He wanders toward an empty table with a lone coffee cup. He looks around, then picks up the cup and takes a tentative sip. He makes a face, too cold or too sweet. He pauses and then downs the contents in one swig. Now, you've used only a small part of one page and perhaps 20 seconds of viewing time to establish your character in an interesting way with no dialogue and a minimum of action. Now, extra note, the phrase clothes as mussed as his hair is a more visual way to say disheveled and sketches a clear picture of your reader or filmmaker, and still only 6 words. All right. Tip number 3, the 10-page rule. Now, there may be something arbitrary about whether a film is 10 or 15 or 20 minutes long, and there's certainly shorts of varying lengths, but many filmmakers like to work within a 10-minute time frame. It's a manageable chunk of time for those with a no to low budget, often with borrowed equipment and cast and crew giving their professional time. And 10 minutes is long enough to tell a complete story. 2 minutes for setup and a minute to wrap things up. Leave a solid 7 minutes in the middle to develop a rich scene where your story will unfold. Work with the time and page limitations, certainly until you've exhausted the possibilities. Just don't keep writing on and on if things aren't working. Remove dialogue and prune scenes to keep the fade out landing on page 10. When you've got a good first draft, see if an experienced reader feels the story needs more room. Then, if you need to, expand. Now, just the tip. This is a little different. For the ink to screen screenwriting challenges, it is all within 5 pages. Perfect for a 1-minute setup, 3 minutes to develop the scene, and the last minute or so for wrap up or the twist. Now, this will help to hone your skills even more. Just imagine doing these challenges, getting something tangible to write into 5 pages, and then having that room to kind of expand a little bit more. I do find that with a lot of my writers, as I'm reading them and I'm critiquing their work and I'm going through it, that a lot of them, they need more room to expand where they could elaborate more and have more room for that. But using it and taking just the 5 pages is such an amazing way to really sharpen those skills, get really down to the nitty gritty, and then letting it explode if you want to continue with that story. You don't have to, but you can. And a lot of people I do know have taken their short scripts and produced them, have had them made. I always like to write all that I can, and then I polish it down. I just let it free flow, and then you start pruning, taking away the dialogue and some of the dialogue and some of the action to see how it can work. Now, our fourth tip, again, write with gusto. Now, this is a repeat tip, but well worth emphasizing. There appear to lots of rules in screenwriting, and sometimes these may appear to drain away the writing pleasure. Remember that a short script offers an opportunity to relax many of the feature's complex demands. So take advantage of the short format to experiment with new characters, write the fresh dialogue, imagine startling situations, create a single moment. Like TV or features, a short film should be based on a hook that grabs the audience's attention, but even more so because you only have that 5 to 10 minutes to really bring them in and really get invested in your characters. That really shows the talent and the greatness of the screenwriter. And unlike TV and features, when writing a short film, you won't have the time and space to create backstories and explore multiple storylines, even if you want to. But where this can also be achieved by like one word, or just like before in the description of the character, where you can bring a little bit more of that to life. So the actor portraying your character can have that little bit of a backstory and work that into it as well. You rather want to focus on one specific protagonist who has one simple goal with something at stake. Create a single moment in their life that we can get excited about. You still want to put it, there still have to be stakes there. You still have to create a dynamic, the climax. You still want to get everything in there. If you're stumped for ideas, try reflecting on your upbringing, certain life experiences, and or strong passions that you have. Choose one experience from your life and hone it into a specific, powerful moment. Then exaggerate it, blow it out. This way, you can build the story from there. Most importantly, you will create conflict while still maintaining a level of authenticity in your short. One of the good things, mostly one of the good things about writing a short is it keeps all of that kind of bound in. Like you're exploding out the seams, but you're not going over the top because you don't have the 100 to 120 pages to really maybe overbloat the storyline. This is just for one specific moment, one character, or a couple of characters in there. Now that you've thought of a single moment, place the scene in the context of this character's journey. Where does this moment land in their story? Having an idea of the placement will help with your approach to the context and overall story. For example, does this moment set the character off on their journey, the call to action? Is this the point where you raise the stakes, midpoint? Or is this the surprising twist, climax? Writing a short film doesn't leave much time for genre blending. Little tip there. Not much for genre blending. While TV shows or feature films typically have more than one genre, like Game of Thrones has fantasy, action, romance, and more, it's best that you stick to one specific genre to keep your short script clear and distinct. Take a look at the powerful moment you have chosen. What is the overall tone of the scene? Defining the tone will help give you an idea of the ultimate writing style that comes naturally to you. And create an outline. I know some of you are like, oh, but the most effortless way to write your short film script is to first create an outline. Writing down the scenes you have in mind, both the physical location and a summary of what occurs, will make it easier for you to focus on the dialogue and details when writing the short script. Not all writers do this, but many find it beneficial to write multiple drafts of an outline before committing to the actual short film script. I find sometimes I go back and forth, find what works best for you, but if you find that you're stuck, an outline would definitely help you get unstuck, especially if you're writing for a competition or if you're writing under a deadline. If the story isn't exciting to read in prose, then it's unlikely to be just because it's been transferred into script form. So if you don't really like it in its prose form in the outline, then it might not be as dynamic if you write it down full of dialogue and action. Nail the outline first, and you'll potentially save yourself weeks of rewrites down the line. Now, again, if you're under a strict deadline, like you doing a challenge or a competition, or you're submitting to somebody, then definitely get that outline as fast as you can so that you can really hone in on those things. Now, write the first draft. Don't get frustrated if your script seems too long at first or that dialogue is not there. Both structure and dialogue will come with revisions. As you write, try to answer these kinds of questions. What is the overall purpose of each scene? Is my protagonist proactive or is he reactive? He, she, reactive. What moral dilemmas do they face? How much pressure are they under? What hard choices are they being forced to make? How is the scene reflecting the theme? What theme do you have? Now, be honest with yourself. Is your protagonist really driving the action forward, or are they coasting through the script without much trouble? Because that's a big problem. If it's the latter, this means you either need to find a way to make the scene more interesting or get rid of it overall. Sometimes just chucking out a scene is the best thing that you can do. Now, writing a short film means sticking to screenwriting structure. Yes, yes. Now, there are many examples of experimental, avant garde short films out there, but just like a movie or TV show, the best short films contain a 3-act structure. Does it take too long to introduce the conflict? Are the stakes raised at the midpoint? Are you leaving each scene on a cliffhanger? Does the protagonist earn at the end what we've been rooting for? Remember, the ending is determined by the overall emotional reaction you want to elicit from the audience. However, make sure that whatever bold choices you make while writing a script for a short film makes sense logistically. Now, the short film script format. Now, a short film is still a film. So I highly recommend you write your short film script according to industry standards. One good thing, again, with my Ink to Screen screenwriting challenge is I go through the format and I edit that for you as well and give you tips and help you with that. Now, how long is a script for a short film? Now, when it comes to writing the first draft, focus on the overall story instead of the page count. Start with the why and take the time to outline your ideas. Put all of that passion on the page and then pull back. It's better to tighten your short to the right page count than to not have enough to begin with. That is a big thing. Now, as a golden rule, use each page wisely. Your goal should be to have your short anywhere between the 5 to 20 minutes. Even in a 5-page script, if it's a suspense, you could draw that out for 20 minutes. Now, here's a big one. You want to get feedback. Filmmaking is a collaborative experience. While your script is your vision, it's important to get feedback from other writers to make sure the story is as good as it can be. Now, every writer that signs up for the Ink to Screen challenges and submits a script, even after the deadline, gets detailed feedback both on the script's format and the elements of the script. I edit right on the submitted script and provide a full page coverage that goes along with your script. This is all included in the entry fee. Now, if you can't submit your script within the 5-day period to be eligible for the grand prize, you have until the beginning of the next challenge to still get your feedback. Submit the script before the next challenge, and I will still give you feedback on your script, even though you're not eligible for the prize. Now, I want to ensure you're getting inspired, but also getting valuable feedback to help you along as a writer. Furthermore, now, if you don't plan to direct your own short, this is a great opportunity to find the right person who will. Be open and honest with other creators about where you think your script stands. If there's something you feel isn't working, perhaps they can help you find the right solution that will get you even more inspired. Now, short films are not lesser than television pilots or feature films. Now, if James Wan or Damien had that mentality, they would not have the successful career that they have today. Short films are compact and strategic. They can be a very powerful way of conveying a huge amount of depth and meaning in a small amount of time. Now, if you're not happy with the idea of your writing career being in someone else's hands, creating a pathway for yourself by writing a short film. I am going to be interviewing somebody who I actually was in the Ink to Screen challenges before, and he now runs his own production company and produces his own films and directs them. Was his way to getting out there, getting his work shown. There is a way to do that, and the power of the short script, that is where it's at. Get inspired. Use your resources. Write that first scene. Another good tip is read short film scripts. Read them. Not only should you be dissecting short films via outlines, but also by reading them. You can go to my website, again, the scriptmistress.com/ink winners, INK winners, to read the finalists from the previous challenges. This will help you get an idea of the structure and how it works by compressing everything into 5 pages. I publish the 5 finalists for each one of my challenges at their at their permission, of course, and you are free to read those and download at your discretion. Now, if you're so inspired, you can also directly reach out to the screenwriters and potentially formulate new partnerships. Maybe somebody on there wrote something you really liked and you would like to collaborate with them. Again, I will have the resources. I got some of these from the articles, Digital Filmmaking Workshop and Scriptwriter Pro. I love reading some of those. Got some of those tips from there as well, and some from my own experience. Now, everyone should be able to go out there and write their next short script, right? Look, I know you can do it. And if you need extra incentive, join the November Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge. Get inspired to write a short script and possibly learn more about your writing. And you could win $150 if you're, and we have finalist prizes as well. It's only $15 to enter per month, and just do it 1 month at a time. You don't have to buy the whole year. We do have that option, but you don't have to. Now, don't forget, you can also grab the free logline cheat sheet PDF that's on my website and focus on creating log lines for your new short film, because I know you want to write one after listening to this podcast. Even though it's a short film, it doesn't mean you should ignore the log line. You can download it right off my main website at thescriptmistress.com, or go to the podcast page at thescriptmistress.com/scene7. Now, if you're new to my podcast, I always add a writing action. I want to give you some extra incentive, get you out there and get you writing, because that's the whole point. We're writers. We want to write. So let's write. So find and read a short script. It's a writing action. See if it has all the elements and write down some of your own tips on how it can help you with your new short script. Feel free to share your insights that you may have on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ink2screen, the number 2, or email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com to get extra tips and help with those. Again, go over it again. The next Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge is now open for registration. Finalists from the October challenge will be announced on November 13th, and the winner of the October challenge will be announced on November 14th. Now, all feedback, every single writer who entered and submitted a script will be getting their feedback, and they'll get that on the 14th as well. And the new challenge starts then right on the 16th at 0001, Wednesday the 16th. October was extra challenging, and November will really get those juices flowing. Another little extra special thing, so don't miss this one. Check it all out at www.thescriptmistress.com/ink2screen, the number 2. Thank you for listening and or watching. I truly value any feedback. If you have an idea for a podcast that might help you, you can email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com. Like and follow the show wherever you are listening or watching, and talk to you soon. Until then, happy writing.